I think, as the boys alluded to there, good program is key. You hope that the good programming eliminates the need to either slow down or ramp up your training sessions. But yeah, a lot of the times you're going to have to adapt based on how players respond. Now, the boring answer is obviously communication and wellness flags are probably your most valuable tools. Players will tell you, especially senior players, they'll tell you when they feel tired. And probably one of the other subjective measures, non-objective, I guess, is just getting a visual on the players in training. So just looking at movement quality, you're looking at, signs of any cognitive decline. Are they making more errors than they normally would? So they are subjective. But just in terms of objective, we have we use a smarter-based dashboard, and it's a multivariate analysis dashboard where we just basically take a whole bunch of data we think is indicative of potential injury risk, or I guess the boys are doing too much, and that gives us a score out of, I think, about 13. We've just made it up; it's arbitrary. But some of the data that goes into that, so we'll do a weekly reactive strength index test. So it's drop off a box, single leg, triple hop, and we're taking best score, and we're doing that left and right. I like that test in particular because I think it's got a stability component. It's unilateral as well, so it'll pick up a deficit on one side. I guess my thing with the counter movement jump, while I like it and it certainly biases power, I just don't know if, and I could be wrong here, the boys can tell me otherwise, I'm just not certain that week-to-week discrepancies are visible enough. I mean, I'll lean on you guys for that. I certainly found with the reactive strength index, a single leg triple hop, it'll pick up a deficit. If you've got something wrong with your ankle, your foot, your knee, your hip, or there is some reason you cannot produce power at that time, it'll pick it up. So I'll use that as one. And then we have threshold lines for every single one of our players. And that threshold line is based on the maximum amount they've performed in a single session or game. So a perfect example is, let's say, game day data, most amount all season you've ever performed in a single day is 1,000 high-speed meters, just throwing a number out there, and I've got a threshold line. If you exceed that threshold line for the first time in 4 weeks, there's every chance that you're going to respond to that. You're going to get an actual response to that. You're going to feel pain, you're going to get soreness or whatever it is. So we do have a flag based on threshold response, and it works both ways. So if you're not actually hitting that threshold, or you're not getting within 90% of that threshold, and you haven't done so in a few weeks, then you're probably going to have a deconditioning effect. So there's that, but then there's also your typical, and take this with a grain of salt. We use an exponentially weighted model to look at acute chronic loading, but like I said, we throw that in the mixer, and it's certainly not something we rely heavily on, but it's just one of those other markers for our multivariate dashboard.